Hi, I'm Kenny Hill with Recovery Hill. Let's properly put out that disclaimer footage. So, the following 5 pillars is my best attempt at integrating nuance, practicality, and research based modern psychology. A person can be really attuned to their own conditions, find a lot of answers about their own psychology. One thing I really want to preface that's perhaps different about these pillars from other people's models is that they are not a hierarchy. These pillars are interdependent and cohesive. And actually, a better term for them would be heterarchy. Definition of heterarchy: form of management or rule in which any unit can govern or be governed by others, depending on circumstance, and hence no one unit dominates the rest. Authority within a hierarchy is distributed. Within the pillars, each one has its own specific area of expertise. So when you have all 5 and they all are focusing on their one area of expertise, they actually all elevate each other. The left-hand section here is first the foundational needs. Within the foundational needs here, there are 2 pillars. The first pillar is survival and physiological instincts. I did put sleep at the top of these instincts. Nutrition doesn't just mean food, it means nutrient-dense food. Within oxygen, simply being aware that there is oxygen can be very helpful for you in grounding. Exercise is highly important. I always tell clients first to exercise for the psychological benefits. And then what you see in the mirror is just the cherry on top. Balancing your finances, not being in debt, not spending money every time you get the chance to spend money. Shelter and defense seems obvious, right? Stay warm. Obvious. Let's get into pillar 2. A relationship includes secure, interdependent relationship with others, caregivers, spouse, children, and friends. Another point here is feeling attuned to and understood, respected, and approved of. The next point is physical touch. This is bonding, sexual contact, this time for pleasure, and reciprocation of feelings. The last point here is a secure relationship with yourself. Here you will have self-trust and self-care. Okay, so let's get into these evolved needs. The first pillar within the evolved needs is self-efficacy. The first point of self-efficacy is building competence in establishing standards and objectives and seeking challenge. Here there is perceived purpose and significance, intrinsic worth, and reason for being is becoming tangible. It is within self-efficacy that one can begin to try out new experiences and do hard things. Success without failure lacks fulfillment. It is by pushing the edge of competency. Remember, within the window of tolerance, challenging that edge of competency. It is by pushing the edge of competency that mastery can become attained. Okay, so let's get into achievement. The first point here within achievement is becoming a better version of yourself, thriving and achieving potential and highlighted, understood, used talent and vision. This is what Maslow calls self-actualization as a primary motivator for esteem and expressed creativity, and Glasser considered the power need. In achievement, there is a sense, at least initially, that value is being attained through the evidence of success. The reason I say initially is that achievement seems to have an expiration date for many people. I theorize the reason why there is this expiration date on achievement. I think that there's some sort of internal barometer that tries to help us push past plateaus. So the last pillar here is higher awareness. This is the counterbalance to achievement with humility, gratitude, and awe. If I get fat on achievement, there tends to be this ego thing, this thing of arrogance. And then all of a sudden for me, especially being an addict, my sobriety is in a whole lot of threat. But this higher awareness component smashes that. It helps bring out humility, which is this great counterbalance to, because you need success, you need achievement, but you can't get too full of yourself with it. You need some balance to that. And also awe, the sense of goosebumps, right? Human connection, connection to the earth, connection to the waves, connection to this higher being. Point 2 is self/ego is willingly surrendered for a higher purpose and acts of service. And the last point within higher awareness is strength and faith and or connection to spirituality and the world around us. Within higher awareness, there is an openness to spirituality. There is an openness and a connectedness to things outside of yourself. So if this was a hierarchy, then you would achieve pillar 1, then you would go into pillar 2, then to pillar 3, then to pillar 4, and then eventually get this higher awareness. But that's not how we are. That's not how we are as people. We are too nuanced. Small business owners can begin to build up a business and really invest so much time and focus and energy into that one thing, and all this other stuff falls off. Sleep falls off, relationships fall off. All these things begin to lose themselves. If they had faith prior, that maybe higher awareness goes away for a while, and they become hyper focused on this one area of trying to get their business developed. And let's say they do that for 6 months or a year, and then they begin to have the success to where they begin to kind of take a deep breath and hone more in on certain things, right? What I'll say about that is if you do it for a momentary period of time, and if your support system is willing to put up with it, okay. But doing it over a long time, it's not sustainable. It will become highly disruptive. But to be able to try to aim for a good percentage of them is what you want to try to aim for. So within the nature of this, you might begin to find yourself stepping into this box and out of this box and back into this pillar and over into this pillar. It's kind of like watching Marla Hooch from A League of Their Own or something, stepping in and out of the batter's box, and she can't figure out which sign from which coach to take, and she's super uncertain. Well, this is kind of the nature and the complexity of these pillars. I hope this model can kind of help make that an easy structure for you to begin to kind of check off your list and see how you're doing with those things. Think of the foundational needs and the 2 pillars on the left as these are the certainty needs. But then the evolved needs, these evolved needs are more uncertain type needs. So let me summarize real quick. Think of it as something that you can use to help you with the daily inventory, for example, something that you can use to kind of check in. How am I doing in certain areas? Where are some blind spots for me? Where are some things that I need help with? Really what you want within these pillars is you want a passing grade. You want to be able to mark most of these markers within the 5 pillars. And if you're able to get a passing grade, you are more likely to feel grounded in life. You are more likely not to get stuck in areas of complacency, in areas of insecurity and fear, but be able to push yourself to thrive and do new things and do things that you never thought you could do. And also do things like sustain behaviors that you already do, that you excel in, and want to continue to excel in. If you find this video to be helpful, I encourage you to share it with a friend, share it with a family member that you feel like would find value in it.